I would say absolutely. It doesn't stop.
It's
Somebody help me.
How's your day going so far?
Good. We're on set for our last day.
The last day of season 9.
Wow, how does it feel?
Crazy. We started shooting season 9 in 2019.
It feels like a lifetime, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever think, I mean, you know, like you said, you're gearing up for season 9, you're about to wrap up filming. Did you ever think that you would have such a fan base and that this would become what it is today?
Yes.
Yes. Next question.
Wrap it up, right?
No, not even close. I remember when the first season or two, I didn't do my hair because you just don't think anyone's going to watch. And then it like caught on, and then I'd be watching it on television. I'd be mortified that I literally would roll out of bed. I'm not even joking around. I was like, this old thing, no one's going to see it.
We had no makeup artist the first 2 seasons. Like we just walked on camera.
And then at the end of
somehow we still look worse right now.
So the first 2 seasons they shot in standard definition. That's how long we've been on TV, right?
Right.
They shot in standard definition and we looked fine.
It was a friend. Standard definition was our friend.
Yeah. Season 3 they upgraded to high def and we're like, oh, that's what we look like on TV.
Ratings took an immediate hit when we went to high def.
I love it.
So did my mom.
So funny. I mean, is it hard now to pull off the jokes because so many people obviously know who you are? Does it make it more challenging each and every season?
Pretty much, yeah. It's gotten harder as we went along. We learned how to circumvent it. We have all these tricks we use, you know. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, every single day we have to account for a certain percentage of people realizing who we are and then replacing them. So yeah, it's built into the show at this point. A lot of people ask us like, how could you even do it? Because they assume like everyone knows us, but not everyone, you know, not everyone knows us.
Not true. I mean, so what can fans expect from this season? You said, you know, you're just wrapping it up. Is there like a certain episode or a joke that you can't wait for everybody to see?
Well, I mean, the big thing about season 9 is at the end of every episode, there's a celebrity guest that's part of the punishment against one of the Jokers. So we have everybody from Colin Jost to Jillian Bell,
Chris
Jericho, David Cross,
Palace and Gabriel,
Adam
Pally and Gabe Russ.
What did I say?
John
Palace and Gabriel. You did that thing.
I do that thing that I do. It's so funny because we're working on a bit right now about how I always mispronounce things, and it's really quite mean because it is at the end of the day a speech impediment. But for some reason in today's enlightened world where everybody's super sensitive about everything, I can't get my friends to treat my disability with respect. They just make fun of me constantly about it. And I'd like to shine a light on that. Maybe get one of those wristbands or a month dedicated to
some kind of ribbon around a tree.
Yeah, can we wrap a ribbon around a tree about how I speak?
Well, speaking of the last couple of guests we didn't mention, tell them about Brooke Riggle and Rob Shields.
You see how it never stops?
Brooke Shields and Rob Riggle.
I had a stroke. This is not funny.
He actually
I actually did.
Oh, it's not funny.
It is actually
we can
pretty
laugh
funny.
about it now on the call here. Yeah.
My brain just went.
I mean, did you have who was the most fun on set? The most fun celebrity on set?
Oh my God. Oof. They all brought something to the table. We had relationships with a lot of them. The way that we selected the guests were people that we really were excited to do something with and we thought were interesting, not just like any old bookings, you know. So a lot of the guests we have a relationship with already. I think that came through, and I think because of that, they were ready to just take the bull by the horns. And so a lot of the punishments we literally built out around them and their skill sets. So I think that in that respect, everyone was able to really like make the most of it. So it's not a political answer. Like, I don't think anyone walked away from the 9 episodes where we were like, oh my God, they really killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. And obviously, you know, this.
It was pretty wild watching Brooke Shields in the punishment. She's the host of a mock dating show, like a brand new TV show coming on called Brook of Love. And it was fun watching us turn her screws and her turn it back on us,
Yeah, I love that. That's so great. And obviously this season has a big shake up with Joe deciding to step away. I know a few of you said that this came as a shock to you, but did any of you see this coming?
No, not really. I mean, we knew Joe was working on some things, and then kind of when he came to us was right about when they had to make the announcement, and we just got to give him his space, and we have to respect his choice, and we'd love to have him, but we're having so much fun, and we're like, our fans aren't over it yet. We still feel like we have some stuff to do yet, and so we're like, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll evolve the show like we normally do, and if we don't have fun, we'll stop. And I will say that none of us could have anticipated how much fun we actually had on these last 9 episodes. It's something about introducing these other people into it that it just inject this kind of this energy and dynamic that we hadn't had previous.
Yeah, definitely.
And some about also not seeing the crew, because we love, like, the crew are our friends, like the family, we love them. Not seeing them because of the pandemic, really over that time, like getting on set and seeing like some of my best friends who I haven't seen in so long, you can't, no matter what's going on, you're just like, oh, that's right. Like I get to hang out with these people that I love. So that was super exciting too. There was a lot of positive energy going into it.
Yeah, it kind of brought a new energy to the show this season. Yeah. We
also have like guests that will fill in, like they're not anchoring the episodes, but when we do bits that need 4 people, we'll call in. Just now we've opened it up to anyone we want, which is really fun because like we had the idea to invite the halal guy from like near our office, and I ended up using my barber and so on and so forth. So like someone came up to us and gave us a business card. And was like, I'd love to be on, which happens all the time. They didn't do it because we knew we were having guests. Yeah. And he handed us his card. And when he walked away, we were like, maybe we'll have this kid on. He asked. So it's kind of got that vibe, like anyone can show up, anything can happen kind of vibe. Yeah. And I think people really will respond to that because people are always like, I wish, like one thing we hear all the time is, I just wish just for one day I could participate, And so the people that we're pulling are just people from our real lives that aren't comedians. So it's really fun to see them in that role.
Definitely. So if somebody sees you guys in the streets, they could be on the show.
No,
yeah, but no, we did that. It happened once. It'll never happen again. Otherwise, that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, right.
We're not going to stop the show until every American gets chesty.
I love it. Do you still have a relationship with Joe? Are you guys still friendly? And
still our best friend. We went out to dinner a few weeks ago, the 4 of us, and at the end of the meal, the bill comes. Sal had to use the restroom. So when he came back from the bathroom, we had all took off without paying the bill, sticking him with the $700 bill for the Italian restaurant. So he's still our best friend, and the hijinks live on.
Yeah. Do you think he'll be back, or do you think maybe he's in the future he'll come back, or do you think he's done for good?
Never know what the future holds. Yeah. I mean, we have to make sure we're coming back, first tackle that. And then down the line, who knows? It's like just taking it day by day right now,
Definitely.
In a universe of infinite possibilities, all things are possible.
Is it hard for you guys touring and managing family and personal lives? Does it ever get to be too much for you?
Nah.
I would say absolutely. It doesn't stop. Somebody help me.
I mean, well, Sal's falling apart. I'll tell you that right now.
You and I handling it well.
Yeah, he's hanging on by his last thread. I don't know if you could tell coming through the camera.
Send help.
Yeah, he's really just hanging on by his fingertips.
I cry daily.
Yeah, he really does. He does. He speaks in that voice. It gets odd.
It is strange how Sal's dealing with his problems by using a high-pitched alter voice. 20 hours in a day.
I will go on.
Are you looking forward to having that little break now that filming is going to be wrapped up?
Yeah, it's a little one, but we're looking forward.
Yeah, we go back to filming season 10 in June, so we have a little bit of a break.
Going back, kind of like looking back in the past, what was that very first joke that you guys all did together? Do you remember?
Oh, I'm sure it was a fart joke.
Probably.
A joke? You mean a joke like on the show?
Yeah, or you're like the one that really stands out to you the most from like way back in the day.
I'll tell you, when we were filming the pilot, we conceptualized the show different than where it has netted out to now. And when we pitched the show, it was slightly different as well. We were driving around in this van that was almost like the A-Team or like KIT or like a CIA van. Yeah, it was sentient, and Patrick Stewart was the voice of it. We'd pull up to places and we'd have these challenges to go. And it changed a bit. But I remember we were filming the pilot and there were multiple different games we were playing, but we hadn't yet put in the earpiece to tell each other exactly what to do and say. And that was on the fly. We're in Costco or something. I think Q suggested it. And I think that was an aha moment for us. And it was like, I remember those jokes to this day because it was the first time we ever threw in the earpiece. We were playing cashiers, and that was the first time we like said no to doing something. And then we stopped down and we said, wait, we said no. So what do we do there? And we're like, no. So what? So let's just say no. They can make it part of the competition and make the denials funny if we could. And that was like a big thing that informed the show. And I'll never forget that moment.
Yeah.
That was during the pilot. That we from the pilot,
yeah. That and White Castle, Costco and White Castle. Literally, those two challenges defined the past 11 years for us.
Yeah, I mean, is there a joke that you still think about that went wrong that you wish you could do over again?
I mean, Q has the iconic line from the pilot. We're in Costco, and a guy comes up, and he's a little irate that it's taking so long to ring him up. The guy has a very bushy mustache, so we told Q to say, "Hey, mustache." I kept calling him mustache.
He flippantly just writes him off as, "All right, take it easy, mustache." And the guy got really angry. That's probably the first time we also encountered someone being angry toward us, and we're like, oh, this is tension here, which we also wanted to explore.
And what I think is a great move on the network's part, they allowed us to blur the guy's face but keep his mustache unblurred, which is genius. So made it go.
I love that. Is there just a joke that you won't do, or is there anything that is off limits to you guys?
Oh, a lot of things. Yeah, we don't want to be mean. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, I'd say there's a lot of like kind of rules, but we don't stray towards that anyway naturally in our lives, unless they're talking about my speech impediment, in which case they're vicious. So yeah, there's a lot of jokes we won't do, but it's not hard not to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tell the line. We take it as they come. It's like on a joke by joke basis, essentially.
Yeah, and then I know you kind of talked about this, but any joke regrets?
That made it through onto air?
Yeah.
At this point, it's so hard to go back and think back. I'm sure if we went back to like seasons 1, 2, there probably are things that like, because our style has changed, the show has changed, and the world has changed, that maybe would be considered a little more risky than they'd be considered more risky today than they were back then, right? Like because of the landscape of things.
Yeah, but I thought we always did.
Yeah, it was never really.
We always tried to like toe that line before that line was even there.
Right. We tried to set it and then break it and set it, and keep people guessing. But the nature of the show is doing things that we probably wouldn't want to do. So that's built in kind of inherently sometimes.
Right.
But nothing jumps out to me like, oh my God, if I had a time machine.
No, it was funny when we had Eric Andre on and he just started powerhousing you with black jokes that we were like, we could never say
race
them.
Stuff that we couldn't do, but it's coming from him.
He goes, I haven't been this drunk since last Black History Month. And we were like, whoa, we would never say that joke.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, you mentioned obviously the landscape of the world is different from, when you were for season 1. Is that hard for you when you are kind of coming up with these jokes and,
I think that's what makes our show continue to be good and great, and that's on us to constantly evolve the show. The show, and totally unplanned, in Eric Andre's episode, there's a joke about Will Smith hating the product.
Yeah,
right? And it coincided with the week of Will Smith exploding in the news.
Right.
But I think the show can react to trends and cultural trends very, very quickly, and that's on us to keep it evolving and staying current.
Are you bringing Will Smith this drama into the final episode of season 9?
No, we don't want any part of that drama.
Not touching that. I know, this, like you said, this season is all about
that with a 10-foot pole.
Exactly. I know you said this season obviously has a lot of celebrity guests and things like that, but is there the biggest celebrity fan that surprised you that that is a big fan of the show that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe they watch?
Paul McCartney.
That's a big one.
Yeah, we heard he talked to our manager. We heard he watched the show, and then our manager talked to him at some charity dinner, and he actually had like in-depth thoughts about the show and us. It was like, I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing in the world to hear.
And of course, you know Paul McCartney from Wings.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'll let you go back to filming your final episode. Can't wait for season 9 and enjoy your much needed time off.
Thanks so much.
so
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Bye.